In this video, I'm going to go over the Monza GP circuit and provide some tips for running more consistent laps. Hey everyone, I'm Troy Uyon and welcome to my track guide for Monza. We are using Formula 1 2016 and the Ferrari Formula 1 car, but these track tips will apply to pretty much any sim. So with that, let's start a new lap and talk about the track. Right off the bat here, we are on the home straight, which is a DRS zone, so we have DRS open already going down into Turn 1. Turn 1 at Monza is one of the tightest chicanes in all of racing. It's right after a long straight and a DRS zone, so it's also a prime overtaking spot. You want to take a wide entry and get a tight first apex to set yourself up for a good run out of the second apex. The second apex really depends on the car and sim you're running, but my general advice for this corner is to take as much curb as possible without unsettling the car. You don't want to be taking so much curb that the car is bouncing after the apex. It's just going to bog down your exit, because you really need a clean traction event out of this corner. Reason being, you want as much speed as possible here through the Curva Grande, because it leads into an obvious overtaking spot and another heavy braking zone. Drift out wide, and then return to the right side of the track. This chicane is a lot faster and curbs are usually an option. Normally what will catch people out is dropping a wheel into the gravel on the exit of the second apex, so make sure you get a good pointed exit out of there. The line for the first lesbo is really tricky in my opinion. The entry to me is pretty deceptive. I like to approach this corner as a late apex corner. Maybe that seems a little weird, but it is so inviting to just start hugging the curbs on the inside. However, the corner is tighter than it seems, so delaying your entry just a little bit will enable you to keep better momentum throughout the corner. The second lesbo, however, attack it. Dive the car into the apex with aggression and attack the corner, because the slightly cambered road and a little bit of curb will drop the speed a little, and then you will neutralize with a decent exit speed. And it leads onto a long straight with a DRS zone, obvious overtaking area. This next complex is named after Ascari, and it is really tricky to get right consistently. Usually you're trim if not completely null on downforce at Monza, but we're talking about taking a high-speed sweeping chicane with gravel traps all around. It's tough to get this section right for an entire race, but here's what I do. I use as much curbing as I can on the first apex so that I carry the highest speed into the complex as possible. Then I trace out wide to get two wheels on the curb for the next turn. I'm already turning to the right at this point, so I've carried my speed into this turn really naturally. But then I reduce the steering angle a little bit and get off of the curbs before the apex. This way I'm off of the curbs during the highest lateral loading point of the corner. In some sims, riding the inside curbs on the right here can really unsettle the car, and you definitely don't want that right here in the middle of Ascari. The first two apexes are really all about just setting up for this final turn as we fly onto the back straight, keeping good traction, good rear end stability, and full throttle throughout the final apex, speeding down the back straight. Now it is outbrake yourself central with the entry to the Parabolica. Consciously practice your braking here on the racing line and overtaking line a lot, because the differing speeds out of Ascari lead to a lot of action here under braking. Cars end up in the gravel traps a lot after this corner, even without contact, because of how tough the braking is when you're in the heat of the moment. This is an expanding radius corner, and because of that you just want to slam the throttle as much as possible and as early as possible, but maintain your traction. That's the important part. If you slam the throttle while you still have too much lateral load, you'll just need to lift and correct, and you'll lose more momentum. It's a flat out corner after that, and it leads into a DRS zone to round out the lap. Hey, let me know in the comments below if you found this guide helpful or what other tracks you might want to see. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.